Welcome on into this week's episode of I Don't Know Jim, where we will be going over the divisional round and previewing the conference championships. Jim, I can't believe we are already at championship weekend, but we are here. So we can just kick it right off with our gyms of the divisional round. You want to start
Do
off?
it.
I usually start off, so you can go.
Yeah, Jim. I'm going to go number one with Joe Mixon. 20 carries, 105 yards, and a touchdown. He looked refreshed. And if you ask me, he's the reason the Bengals were able to win that game. They were able to run the ball all day down the Bills' throat. And he looked good. He's kind of fallen off as of recently. He had that 5-touchdown game in the middle of the season. But since then, he's been pretty cold. But a performance like that earns you a gym.
It's a good shout, Jim. I'm going to go with Nick Sirianni, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. You could really shout out anyone on that Eagles team. They all played well this week. I'll give it to the coach for prepping them for that game so expertly. 38-7 in the divisional round is embarrassing. I'd love to be the head coach of the team that put up 38 there. He was also just a beast with his antics on the sideline.
Yeah, he's a lot sometimes when he's wearing all the jerseys and stuff. He's kind of a goober, but he's definitely getting it done.
Yeah. Goober or not, he is on to championship weekend, so he gets a shout for the gym of the week. And I forgot that I get to go back to back here.
Happens.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys-Niners game, Jim.
We got.
I don't even know who I'm gonna give a shout to. Probably George Kittle, because I think that game really came down to that helmet catch.
That was sick.
You really felt the momentum and the tide turn after that catch. And at least for me, I went, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Big drive, big catches by Mr. Kittle. And the Niners are scary. That's going to be a good one this week.
Yeah, both of these games I'm pretty strapped in for. I'm going to go a little bit out of the box for my last pick here. It's a guy that stepped up when they needed him. He's on the Chiefs. It's backup quarterback Chad Henne. He led the longest touchdown drive in Kansas City Chiefs history in the playoffs, that is. 98 yards for a score when Mahomes was out. I mean, you step it up in a moment like that. We've seen it from him before. I remember, I believe in 2020 when Mahomes went down with a leg injury again, and he led the Chiefs to that victory over the Browns. That was pretty sweet. I mean, here, he did exactly what they needed him to do and more, backed up like that. So, Chad Henne, you're a gym. And if the Chiefs do end up winning the Super Bowl, he's a guy that you do have to look up and say, who knows if they had somebody else there. He stepped up. You had a touchdown off of that. That's really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the season of the backup quarterbacks, but we certainly got some showing up when it's most important.
Yep.
All right, cool. We can head over to the James of the weeks.
Yeah.
This one's pretty easy.
Yep.
I don't want to say Dak Prescott, but it's the Cowboys in general. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. Just can't get it up for the big occasion. You put in all the work. I don't know. I could make a sexual innuendo here, but I won't.
It's a family podcast, Jim.
It is a family podcast. I mean, Dak certainly didn't play too well. 2 picks that really. It's tough because that was the type of game where it was really in the margins and the small details.
Mm-hmm.
One mistake loses you the game. He had 2 big ones. It's just a shame for the Cowboys, man. They were outmatched, outcoached, outplayed.
Yeah. A lot of people were on them too. It's sad. I mean, because it is a better league when the Cowboys are good. I think a lot of people like to watch the Cowboys, and it's fun rooting. I was rooting against them, so it was fun rooting against them too. But yeah, definitely bad performance there, and it was even a worse look. Did you see the team's Twitter account?
You can't be tweeting that from the
Put
official.
out that Dak gave the ball up twice and led to their downfall. You can't do that as an official team account. It's still up. It's been 3 days. Whatever.
I mean, it was an accurate game summary, but
Yeah, but you can't say it like
I
that.
know. I'm with you.
Oh, I do have a Jim though, or a James that's different. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, doggy. You know, people are starting to ask, including myself, is this their ceiling? Will they ever make it to a Super Bowl here? Or is this going to be the Burrow Mahomes battle, like the Brady Manning battle? And I remember earlier in the season, I compared the Mahomes Burrow battle to Brady Manning, and somebody gave me some pushback. I don't remember who, but I mean, if for Buffalo here, you got the GM making excuses about we don't want to be bad enough to get a Jamar Chase. Like, you can't be saying that type of stuff, man. You've had all the resources. You've been bad enough to have the pick that was traded away to get Justin Jefferson. So I don't really want to hear it from up there. If they don't like mentally figure it out, I think, and get their bearings underneath them, this could slide very quickly, and they could not make it to the Super Bowl win at all. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, not to make this the can't get it up episode, but
We need a sponsor here.
we do presented by but they're a regular season juggernaut and they just fold in the playoffs. And, I mean, you can make your arguments to the past 3 years that, oh, that overtime game, oh, if this play went that way. But in reality, these past 3 seasons, they were, not Super Bowl favorites, but they were a very good team that fell
They
short
had
of
their chances.
expectations 3 years in a row.
Yep.
Now that's it. That's the end of the story. You fell short of expectations 3 years in a row. Yeah.
Like,
Sad. It really is sad. I like the Bills.
I know it is. And a lot of people, they were the favorites this year. Everybody, including Vegas, thought they were going to win the Super Bowl. So now you sit there and you go, you guys got croaked in the divisional round and you were a heavy favorite. I don't know, Buffalo. I don't know. But I think that's enough ranting for me on the Jameses. You good?
Yeah, I'm good, especially because we'll probably get into it in the recaps, so we can move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, we can move along to Sunday, 4:30, Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs defeated the Jaguars 27-20. Jim, what's the storyline here? What's the biggest thing from this game?
The biggest thing for this game for me was, it kind of played out how you expected it. Well, final score wise, Jaguars kept it close enough at the end to cover, but the Chiefs were just, they're a better team. They're at home. They did what the number one seed's supposed to do, and they won that game, even with Mahomes going down. What I'm taking away from this for next season is the Jaguars are going to be good.
Yeah, they are.
They've got Calvin Ridley waiting in the locker room to come out. Christian Kirk doesn't look like a total overpay now. They've got some weapons for next year, and they'll be exciting to watch. I mean, Saturday games were kind of the Cinderella stories coming to an end with Jacksonville and the Giants, and no shame at all in bowing out in the divisional round for those two teams.
No, those.
Chiefs are just, they're the better team. They're the number one seed. They're supposed to do that. I'm glad you gave some props to Henny because that was an awesome drive.
Yeah.
In another world, another backup QB comes in, throws a pick six, 2 plays into that drive. We have a totally different game, totally different, conference championship. But those are my 2 takeaways mostly.
Yeah. And quick note, Chad Henne is my guy. I had a brief conversation with him when I was in Kansas City, so I had to give him his props.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, right? But my big takeaway here is, I guess I'm kind of getting into the preview a little bit with the Mahomes thing. But when he first got hurt, dude, it was like he needs to get off the field. Like he could barely move. But I guess as far as the game itself, you nailed it. The Chiefs are too much. And I also think the Jaguars didn't capitalize when they needed to, and they almost shot themselves in the foot and became a little too over aggressive when Mahomes was out of the game. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but Mahomes went down, was out, and then they were blitzing almost every single play. And obviously, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, they're thinking about what do you think the defense is going to do now? They're going to attack. So they took advantage of that. So that's my big thing here is they got caught being a little too aggressive. But overall, I'm with you. I think this Jaguars team is going to be exciting next year. All right. Can move on now to the night game. The Eagles slapping down on the Giants 38-7. Now, Jim, I didn't catch most of this one. I was at a corporate event, but I'm glad I didn't because when I checked my phone and it was 28-0 at halftime, I just went, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, this one was over early and quick. I mean, it was 28-0 at half, Jim. I think we had our big 27-0 comeback for this playoffs already. Um, it's tough, man. The Giants, they played their part in taking out the Vikings like we called, and then the Eagles off a week of rest and a week of preparation were just simply too much for them.
Forget about it.
And not to dunk on the Giants, like they had a great season. They're in a rebuild.
Sure. Absolutely.
They made it to the divisional round in a rebuild. They just, met up with a team that was too hot, too good. I think the Eagles are the best team in the league this year, personally.
Me too.
So, tough to be blown out that bad, but nothing to be ashamed of if you're the New York Giants.
Absolutely. And I'll say this too. I think we, in our preview, nailed it. We talked about how superior the Eagles defense is to the Vikings and that Daniel Jones performance would probably be an anomaly. And it absolutely was. We saw the return of the regular Daniel Jones. But it is hard to fault him when he has no weapons around him. Sure, he's got Saquon Barkley, but look at the guys he's throwing the ball to. It's Richie James, it's Isaiah Hodgins. Not to take away from those guys because they've stepped up, but it's not exactly your, star-studded crew that you got. I mean, look at Philadelphia. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. Those two number one receivers. So, I mean, for the Giants, absolutely great season. I think we both agree that Dable is the coach of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles just keep on rolling, man. They just keep on rolling.
All right, cool. I don't have much more to say on that one.
Nope, me either.
Can head over to the, I don't want to say most disappointing game of the week, but I will say the most disappointing game of the week. The Bills just absolutely did not show up. 27-10, Cincinnati. And my thing here, Jim, is you're the Buffalo Bills. You're the 2 seed. You got questionable home field advantage in this situation. It's snowing. And that's the whole Bills thing is like, we have this outdoor venue in the cold. Ooh, snow. You got it. You got everything in your favor. And you let the Cincinnati Bengals come in your house and absolutely dominate you in every facet of the game. Come on. Are we serious?
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's why they were my James. I mean, and dude, from the jump, the Bengals were on them. Like right to start, they went right down the field, and it was like, oh boy, like here we go. And the Bills couldn't do anything about their running game, which is something that we never talk about when we talk about the Bengals.
Nope. I mean, I think you nailed it with the Von Miller thing. If you want to touch on that,
sure, absolutely. I mean, Von Miller's been out for a number of weeks now, but they have Von Miller in that game. It's totally different. Obviously, that guy is a Hall of Famer, bona fide stud on the outside. And he's not there to take advantage of a really beat up Cincinnati offensive line that wicked overperformed. I think everybody and their mother sat there, looked at this game and went, well, the Bengals offensive line's no good, blah, blah, blah. In reality, I'm going to give myself props here too. I said, I don't think the Bills have the pieces to take advantage of that. They don't have any guys that are really studs on the outside. I mean, obviously, other than Von Miller, but they got dominated, and so did their offense. The Bills' offense couldn't do squat. Stephon Diggs was shut down, and that was it. It was game over.
Yeah, we can touch on the Eli Apple stuff too if you like. I will say
you can, yeah.
We did nail it though with the Bills' pass rush not being like the Ravens.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna say my little 2 cents here. Tyler Huntley gave them a better game.
He did. He absolutely did. That's unquestionable.
And it's so tough that one third and goal, fourth and goal play at the 2 yard line. Switch that. Ravens are there. Yeah, I don't know. Let's touch on the Eli Apple stuff. I don't know how you feel about Eli Apple. I think he's a
Bomb,
burnt toast bum.
bomb.
Um, I will say, when you're winning, you get to be like that. Um,
But that's my problem with him.
I don't know. I
He
think
never
it's
just talks his trash. He always has to win, and then I won.
you see the Cancun on three stuff. People
That
think
was
he's
messed up.
throwing DeMar.
Don't you think that was messed up?
It's tough because the Cancun on three thing's been a thing.
Well, then he did the hard
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. The emoji was a little questionable choice. I don't
Not
know
to.
if it was related to Tamar, Eli, buddy. You were on the field for that. Like, come on, that was a bigger than football moment. You don't really. You can chirp without bringing that up.
Yeah, that's my big problem with him. He's also not good.
I don't think he's that good either, dude. Demarcus Robinson toasted him.
Yeah, I know.
Like, come on, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. He does a lot of chatter for, biggest accomplishment, getting toasted in the Super Bowl by Cooper Kupp for a game-winning touchdown. I'm excited for the Chiefs this weekend. We can get into that later, and we can finish off this if you have nothing else to say with the
Let's do it.
Cowboys
Lead
Niners.
us into it. Lead us into it, Jim.
Cowboys Niners. Niners defense, they showed up. It was really a defensive battle. These are two really good defenses.
Yep.
Came down to the little things, the little mistakes, and that decided this game. Dak Prescott showing once again that is he the guy? I don't know.
I think they're too invested in him.
It's tough.
Right?
It's tough, man. It's a because when you look back on this Cowboy season, it's gonna be a disappointment. Like the history books will be like that was a disappointing Cowboy season.
Yes.
But the Niners are really good too. Like on one hand, there's no shame in losing to a good team, but on the other hand, you had a rookie quarterback, last pick of the draft.
Oh yeah.
You're a good team too. You should figure out how to beat them. I don't know.
The big thing is Dak's got to stop turning the football over.
It's his favorite hobby.
Like, man, he didn't look great in this game. He didn't look very confident. Those picks were just inexcusable. And they need somebody else for him to throw the ball to, other than CeeDee Lamb. He's a one. Yeah, Dalton Schultz is a good tight end. Who's your number two? Noah Gray. It's fine. And after Tony Pollard goes down, then you're in trouble. That was when it was really bad news for them because he's dynamic. Oh, yeah. Right? I mean, Zeke had 10 for 26. That's not moving the needle for me, at least.
Mm-mm.
And the Niners, they played a pretty safe game. They didn't put Purdy in a position to get killed by Micah Parsons or to turn the ball over. So I like that. I just think they did just enough here. Like their game plan was, we don't need to blow them out because if we try to blow them out, then we might get beaten. They did what they needed to. Elijah Mitchell looked pretty good. Now, McCaffrey looked like he was kind of banged up. I think he's got a calf contusion or something. But here we go. Here we go. I mean, these two best teams in the NFC versus two best in the AFC here.
Yeah. I don't know. Last thing to say on that one would be, what was that final play?
That was, I know I just freaked out about the Patriots play earlier in the season as like the worst play, but that wasn't drawn up. That might have been like the worst drawn up play I've ever seen. That was just embarrassing.
It's tough because like I can see the vision, but the execution was so poor.
Well, like schematically, it was supposed to be thrown to Turpin, and he throws it back across the field, and then all of a sudden you got like,
up there.
Yeah. Sure, it makes sense, but visually, like Zeke snaps the ball, gets rocked, and then catch tackle games. Like, just a bad look.
I think it's funny the like Pat McAfee and the Colts are trying to be like, oh yeah, no, that's the worst play ever.
Oh, of course.
I still think the Colts take the cake with that one
No,
because
that
I can't even see the vision with that. I can see the
I
vision with this
agree.
play.
I agree.
Ugh.
All right. You want to move on to preview?
Yeah, we can go to preview.
All right. Preview time. Sunday, 3 o'clock, NFC Championship game at the Link. The 49ers are visiting the Eagles, and we're going to talk numbers here. The Eagles are 2.5-point favorites at the moment. Jim, I like the Eagles here. I've loved the Niners all year. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you, Jim. No discredit to the Niners. I'm not saying they're a bad team at all.
Nope.
I just think the Eagles are a better team. They will be at home. We'll have, and this isn't, a knock on Brock Purdy. He's played great throughout, but you do have a rookie quarterback on the road in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is crazy, dude. Um, but to me, it's just like when you look at this, the Eagles are that next step up of the Cowboys, like even better offense, even better defense. It's the next test, it's the next level. Um, I just think the Eagles will be able to, get the job done here. And I don't think the Niners are going to be able to control the game flow the same way they've been able to do, against the Cowboys, against the Seahawks. I don't think it's going to be that type of game. And I think when the Niners can control the game flow, they're a very hard team to beat. I just don't think they're going to be able to do that this week in Philadelphia.
I 100% agree. And the big thing here is there is a mismatch, okay? Because that Niners rushing attack is good, and the Eagles' rush defense has not been good. But I don't think that the 49ers are going to be in a position to run the ball a lot. I really think the Eagles' quick strike is something that they haven't seen in a long time. And I looked back and I looked at the teams the 49ers have played. Jim, they've kind of had a sneaky cakewalk. And so
Yeah.
have the Eagles, but the Eagles have done more and I think are more dynamic for me to believe in them to win this game, especially at home. I just think that their offense is too multidimensional. Jalen Hurts can throw the ball. He can run the ball. They've got backs. They have a tight end. They've got receivers. And the 49ers have all that. But you look at the quarterback and you go, all right, pal, we are on the road across the country against an absolute juggernaut. Let's go. I just don't love that. And I've loved the 49ers all year, but I really think it comes to an end for them on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. I don't think there's much else we can talk about. These are our predictions. They'll either come true or they won't.
Yep.
I just think the Eagles have been the best team in the NFC this year, and I think,
Too.
they'll get the job done at home.
I agree.
We can move on then if you'd like.
Let's do it. AFC Championship game. Bring us home.
Bengals, Chiefs, and this one's going crazy with the line movement. Opened up here, moved to here, moved back to here. I'm currently seeing it sitting at Bengals -1.
Me too.
I mean, the movement's really coming all down to what is Patrick Mahomes' status.
Yep.
Um, and I guess, we could play the game of, oh, if he's healthy, we think this happens. If he's not, we think I'm going to go under the assumption that Patrick Mahomes plays this game.
Oh, he definitely
Maybe he's not,
plays.
well, maybe he's not fully healthy, but I still think the Chiefs get the job done here. I really do.
I'm very torn, Jim. I am very torn. They're calling it Burrowhead. They're calling it
Get out of
Burrowhead.
here.
Dude, he's 3-0 against the Chiefs. I have a hard time. One, I think that Mahomes is actually way more hurt than people like to believe. And I think it's funny because I think some of that line movement happened today because he walked from the press conference stage to the back door without limping, and that moved the line. I think he's going to get hit. I think the Bengals win. And we saw it earlier. This Bengals team just has it out for the Chiefs. I really don't know how to describe it. They can't cover Chase. Higgins is an excellent compliment. I always talk about those two. My one fear is that Chris Jones and Frank Clark will expose that patchwork line. That's something that I've been
That's my
thinking about.
thinking, man.
Huh?
That's my thinking is, this Chiefs pass rush is closer to the Ravens than the Bills is, in my opinion.
The
And I know
one
it's,
thing.
keep going. Yeah, go ahead.
That's the one thing. It's hard for me because on one hand, I'm thinking, well, if Mahomes is like at 50% of his usual mobility, does that make up for the disruption that Chris Jones and Frank Clark may be causing? It's hard. It really is. I'm having trouble trying to figure out what exactly I like.
Yeah, I don't know, man. For me, it's just since Patrick Mahomes is like, come in and become that guy. Like these are the type of games where he just, it's almost Brady-esque of like the okay, yeah, Joe Burrow's 3-0 going 3-0 against Mahomes and the Chiefs. The only
Burrowhead.
one that really huh?
Burrowhead.
It's not no, that's ridiculous. The only one that really mattered there was last year, where they beat him and moved to the Super Bowl. Cool. I don't think that happens this year. I don't care if Mahomes is hurt. I think he's gonna, just shoot him up with whatever. He'll go out there, do some magic. I also hate the Bengals, and I know I hate the Bengals, and I think
Yeah,
some of my Bengals bias is coming through.
it
But
is.
it feels like that type of game, man, where Eli Apple's doing all this, chirping. You haven't won the Super Bowl yet, guy. What are we chirping about? What are we doing? Everyone's calling it Burrowhead. It feels like that type of narrative where everyone thinks, and sometimes I get burned when I fade the narrative. But narratively, it feels like everyone's all over Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
You're saying
That
this is
line, that line is trash right now, and I know some guys are going to play through pain. I think the Chiefs defense can do better than the Bills. I think Andy Reid can prep for this. Feels like a Chiefs at home. They get the job done. I see a Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl. Somehow it'll be a Niners Bengals because I never get these right.
You're doing a good job convincing me here, but I don't know. I think that Mahomes is actually more banged up than people think. I think that
No, and
really
that's
is.
very valid.
I think that's what it comes down to here.
You don't think Chad Henne can get the job done if needed?
No, I love Chad Henne, and he's my guy, but I'm not taking him against the Bengals, man. That's it. I have to take the Bengals, Jim. I'm saying Bengals Eagles, even though I've been calling for the Niners in the NFC all season long. I can't pick them against the Eagles. I can't. I hate that.
I mean, I guess on the bright side, there are no more blue teams for me to pick because I'm a big blue team guy. Um, I like the color blue.
Did you take the
My blue
Giants last
team.
week?
No, no, no. But the Bills and the Cowboys let me down wholeheartedly.
Oh, oh.
Red won last week.
All right. Wow. Our next episode is going to be AFC Championship recap and Super Bowl preview, or maybe
This
we'll
is a
do.
big preview.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Wow, I guess.
insanity.
I mean, it sounds like. Do we still need to be a gym?
We do.
I mean, it sounds like we were only in agreement on one thing here:
I know.
the Eagles, the Birds.
Oh man. It's
It's
got
got
to
to be.
be.
It's got
It's
to be
got
the
to
Birds.
be. It's got to be the Eagles minus two and a half. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, they're too much on both sides of the ball. Right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Right? Is that good explanation?
Yep.
I think that's perfect enough. I also think that this is queuing up for an AJ Brown legacy game. Get
Damn.
ready.
Okay.
Get ready.
You're pretty good at calling the legacy games, so.
I'm just saying. I don't think the Niners corners have an answer for AJ Brown. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, Jim. That'll do it. We'll do our classic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tell us your picks. Yeah, we got to engage more with our listeners, whether that be
Well,
on
they don't
Instagram.
engage with us, so
You can hit my line. You can snap me